Opening face-off, here we go. And picked up by the Fighting Irish and Will Lynch, one of the best face-off men in the country. Ball down, still loose. Popped up in the air. It is a scramble to start this one.
You can see both these teams hungry, getting after it. Beautiful day here in Ann Arbor. Temperatures around 70 degrees. It's an anomaly this time of year in the state of Michigan, but we are enjoying it. Great crowd on hand, and you can see what the first possession of this game means to both these ball clubs.
Whistle finally blows after absolute chaos.
That's what we take here in Ann Arbor in the Midwest in the month of March. You can see Michigan gained possession off of that scrum, but they didn't clear it within 20 seconds. It went out of bounds, but the 20-second clock was already exhausted.
And Will Angrick going right to the cage, and an immediate goal for the Irish.
You think about this Notre Dame team lost on the offensive end of the field from their back-to-back national champions in 23 and 24. Eric Dobson, the most particular loss in the midfield, but Will Angrick has really put together a solid beginning to his 2025 season. Just off of the substitution pattern, gets underneath the defense, switches from the right hand to the left hand to give him a better angle.
Champs in different ways. Kevin Connery said, we'd like to get it going a little bit earlier if possible, but he appreciates the progression his team makes throughout the season. Late in the shot clock now, approaching 10. John Morgan, he's been hot recently, takes the shot, and it leaks through. John Morgan with his 5th goal this season, all over the last 3 games plus.
Shorten the shot clock, but I like Michigan attacking the shorties for Notre Dame. Morgan with a sweep, short time. This is not bad defense. You're in the gloves. You're getting pressure. If you're Richard Ellie, you've got to make this save. And both these teams are missing program-changing players. Notre Dame, Pat Cavanaugh, brother of Chris, and on the other end, Mikey Boehm, who just rewrote the record books here at Michigan and was just an incredible player. But like most teams around the country in this post-COVID era, trying to find the answers.
Great save from Taylor, who's trying to chase it down. It goes out of bounds. That was on the doorstep for Cavanaugh.
And Taylor thought he was going to have possession. So on the restart, you're not allowed 5 seconds as a goaltender. So Taylor was a half beat slow getting back to his cage because he thought he won the race to the end line.
Able to recover initially, ends up in a Notre Dame goal. Devin McClain getting the start today.
It's a good news, bad news situation. It's a dangerous proposition when you're a netminder trying to get the ball on a run out. You make the call closest to when and where it goes out. I think that's clearly Cavanaugh's ball, but you can see Taylor actually didn't think he won the race to the end line. Cavanaugh kicked the stick away of Taylor inadvertently, and I'm not a goaltender, but I think when you get back to the cage late, your heart's racing a little bit more. He's terrific. He definitely misses his brother, as does this entire Notre Dame team, but he is establishing himself as an elite player in his own right. He already had established himself as the elite player. Just like that.
Off the scrum, ends up in the back of the net. Cavanaugh. His 16th goal of the year, 2nd in the ACC in goals per game. And what impresses Kevin Corrigan the most about him is he endures so much physical contact and still able to finish.
He invites the contact, the errant pass. If you're the goaltender, Hunter Taylor, you have got to find that thing, clamp it, and get it into your crease. There you see a little bit of miscommunication right there. This is a team that has lost 2 straight games by 1 goal apiece to Maryland and Ohio State. But that stings when you're the 2-time defending national champion.
You mentioned just losing Pat Cavanaugh, how big of a deal that is. Nearly intercepted. It is scooped up by Pace Billings.
Tough ride by Notre Dame. There you can see Billings just swarmed by 3 blue jerseys.
That green space closed real quick. Notre Dame at it once again. Here's Cavanaugh. Curling, shooting, it's wide.
You can see him paying the price right there, too. Kavanaugh got top side, shot, second slide, drops him like a bag of dirt. You can see him point to the official and say, how about a late call there? No dice, we play on.
Back to Busenkill. Reverses course, and Taylor's right there.
Yeah, not the best shot. Low angle. Lose to the Blue Devils in overtime, but that's not a bad loss by any stretch of the imagination. Will boost their numbers in all the metrics. But this is a team that has confidence, and they're recalibrating. Losing players like Mikey Bain, Bo Pedersen, Justin Wheatfeld off of last year's Big Ten champion.
At a certain point in the season, the last couple of years, the guys just seem to realize we don't have much time left together. This group specifically, we have to kick it in gear, and they have.
Yeah, even though the calendar just flipped to March, conference play begins next week.
Jake Taylor, a wizard around the cage.
Richard Daly rebounds from the bunny he gave up a few minutes ago, and he makes a beautiful save. This is good offense out of the timeout. Mulholland gets his hands free, good angle. Richard Daly able to save it, corrals the rebound. Then we go to the other end. Jake Taylor has just been a Wolverine killer during the course of his career. A little behind the back, some flair.
Notre Dame looks like a team that is pretty mad based on the last two results.
No doubt. 1-goal losses, neutral site, then at home. But that did not sit well, talking this week with head coach Kevin Corrigan. Another nice save by Richard Daly.
Gets it done again. You mentioned the 20 saves he had against Ohio State despite the loss.
It's when and where the ball goes out. A lot of times folks think it's when the ball goes out, but you cannot be 20, 25 yards away from the ball when it goes out of bounds, and you have somebody that's much closer. And that's what happened right there for Taylor. And his hustle not only led to that possession, but now is going to lead to the first extra man opportunity. It's just anger going into the bench after the flag was down. Picked it up, that killed the play.
Lockwood, man up chance for Michigan. Saved, right back to Michigan. More contact, Wolverines keep.
Looking to get his ball club back on track here today.
Michigan still with it. After the quick expiration with the man up, Mulholland turning. And ball on the ground, Richie Ardelli trying to scoop. Matt Jeffrey in the vicinity as well. Finally picked up by Richie Ardelli as Notre Dame attempts to clear.
Something we just haven't seen outside of the extra man opportunity from this Michigan 6-on-6 settled offense.
Shot clock approaching 10. Go time for Notre Dame. Angrick right in front, and the finish. It's McLean. His second goal today, and the Irish lead by 4.
I like how loose and fast this Notre Dame offense is playing so far in this game. Short time in the shot clock. Angrick running out of angle. You figure he's just going to cycle it behind the cage to get a backside look. He sees the slide. There's no reason to go there.
And Will Lynch does it again.
He's just winning it clean now as well. That's a challenge for Michigan. They got to try to figure something out to slow him down, create what they created in the opening faceoff of this game, a long scrum, 50-50 ground ball. Just give yourself an opportunity to make a play.
Kavanaugh had his shot saved by Taylor.
And you have an opportunity to beat an attackman, take it, run. You can't hesitate. And Whitney that time, even though he's got the 70 inches of titanium, saw the opening and said, I'm just going to take it and I'll figure it out when I get over the midfield line.
Plemons the shot. Off the stick of Richie Ardelli. Bounces up. Richie Ardelli scrambling. The shot goes high from Lockwood.
Let's see what Michigan can cook up here. Initiating from the attack.
There's Jack Jenkins bursting onto the scene this year. What a save from Richie Ardelli on the hot shot. And going back to the Irish too. Finley with 40.
Well, Richard Delley's been a difference maker in this game, too. That's, what, probably the third save that he's made that could have been a Michigan goal?
And Kavanaugh, right near the crease, dodges and scores his second goal. A first score of the second quarter for Notre Dame.
You can call this a 2-goal turnaround if you want to. Instead of being at 5-2, it's now 6-1 off of the Richard Delley save and the run out by Reinhardt. And watch the athleticism of Chris Kavanaugh. Gets to goal line extended and almost like a little jump cut. Jumps, swims, establishes position, and finishes near post.
Ooh, hard contact, ball down. Looked like Michigan had a chance. Ends up with Will Lynch still.
Looked like it was from the side. A surprise team after losing their season opener to Utah, and the Penn State Nittany Lions beat Cornell. Came back from a 12-8 fourth quarter deficit last weekend in Ithaca, minus their starting attack. So we'll see what the health of the Nittany Lions are on the road. That was a testimony to the toughness, the grit of Penn State. And they've got one of the best close defenders in the nation, Alex Ross, who has done a fantastic job in his matchup so far in 25.
And Notre Dame strikes again. Wilma Harris. The junior out of Chicago puts the Irish on top 7-1. 6 unanswered for Notre Dame.
They continue to roll, and again, they're rolling with 6 offensive middies today. A true first and second line. Maharish just gets to the middle of the field, wins his matchup incredibly far away from the goal. If you are the goaltender, Hunter Taylor, for the Michigan Wolverines.
Trying to get organized here in the booth. Some wind is causing chaos as Michigan finally stops the streak for the Irish.
If you want to talk about resilience, go blue. Recovering from the wind. The pick at X directly behind the cage. The errant pass, they're able to gobble it up and get it back on offense. So this is a second chance opportunity. And Michigan, these are the type of situations they really need to capitalize. They really need to cash in.
They've defended better here in the second quarter than the first, and what a find! Straight away, it's Wood, the recipient. Ryan Cohen with the assist, leading the Big Ten. In feeds this year, it is 7-3.
And Cohen is someone who's going to have to make plays, and you can tell the respect the Notre Dame defense has for him. Again, the two-man game behind the cage, miscommunication. Right now, you're on the Ferris wheel. And nice job by Cohen. Draws the slide. Rude with the easy finish.
See if Notre Dame can take advantage in the first man up chance. Patient right now. Kavanaugh lets it rip and saved by Taylor.
Impressed with Taylor. I like his ability to make the clean save.
Yeah, 6-start split time with Shane Carr. Last season was his first year as the guy. Carried that into this year as well.
You know what they say, if you have 2 goalies, you don't have any. So splitting time could be a real challenge for your netminders. Colin Burlace, all those guys are going to be on the defensive end, ready for a potent Virginia attack.
Awesome lacrosse across the board, wrapping up the non-conference. Conference playing the Big Ten starting next weekend, and there's Kavanaugh again. Hat trick for one of the best players in the nation. The 24th of his career and the 3rd of his career against the Wolverines.
Richard Delley continues to impress between the pipes. That's a good look. If you're Michigan, Riley with the shot. Richard Delley uses his feet to make the stop, and there's nothing fancy here. I mean, this is vintage Chris Kavanaugh.
Pat Kavanaugh, Tewaaraton winner last year.
Yeah, I'm calling him a finalist, and the guy walked away with the trophy in D.C., so my apologies.
He said Chris was always kind of the prodigy of the family. He could do everything. A nice save from Taylor down low.
Yeah, Pat was the one that just, he had kind of an ugly game. It was more about grit than it was gift. But he turned himself into just an amazing player. Chris was the top 5 recruit in that class, so graduating high school class of 21. He was the one that had coaches texting and calling and all that good stuff coming to his house. Pat really didn't have that. But together, they have transformed this Notre Dame program.
Taking it to new heights, back-to-back national champs, the golden era for the Irish. Straight away, low shot goes just a bit wide from Rude. 3-2 here in the second quarter as we approach a minute to go in the first half. Morgan with the first goal for Michigan today, got tangled up. Ball bouncing, Rude is there. Hustling to try and keep this alive for Michigan. And finally scooped up by the Irish. They score 15 goals a game. A top 5 mark in the country, 8 in the first half. Against one of the best defensive teams in the country, Michigan so far. Dodge from a Harris on the doorstep. Taylor was right there. 8 seconds left, Michigan down by 5. Will be content to go into halftime with this score. A long chuck will end it. That was Kavanaugh operating close to the crease again, looking for his 4th goal. Notre Dame will keep it. Only 10 to shoot now.
Well, and how about this Michigan women's team as well? Under the leadership of Hannah Nielsen, quarterfinalist a year ago in the NCAA tournament. They've turned the corner. Yeah, Light's been on the radar for quite some time. Played his club ball in New Jersey, went to Seton Hall Prep. But I don't think as much promise as he had in the high school, I'm not so sure everyone expected him to have this type of success so early in his career and just become one of the best defenders in the country as just a sophomore. You got to give a lot of credit to Coach Corrigan and Ryan Wellner, defensive coordinator. And I think that's what you have to do when you coach college lacrosse. Everybody's so concerned with the next play and the next sequence. Taking the time to actually coach in game is so critical because it's in real time. It's real-time feedback, real-time constructive guidance.
Looks like we had a moving pick on Jack Jenkins, who was the one on the turf.
Didn't set his feet. His coordinator, Scott Beda, one of the best in the business. He has really done a terrific job since taking that assignment on a couple of years ago. Everybody remembers him from his prolific playing days as a Rutgers Scarlet Knight. So they're getting looks, and this is a good transition opportunity.
Here's the shot and a score! Carson Billig with his first goal of the year in transition to give the first goal of the second half to Michigan.
Or you can get a juice goal like this. Good defense by number 20 in white, Lucas Delgado. And then here comes Billig. Slow break. What's he going to do? Is he going to hit the point? AT's not going to shoot it. He doesn't have any funk in his bag. Stop. Rip. A little bit more discipline on those picks because it has worked against Light, getting his assignment free by utilization of a screen.
Here comes Faison, quick first step. Faison to the other side and an easy doorstep finish for Taylor. It all started with Faison. It's 9-4 Notre Dame.
Out of the timeout, Notre Dame takes advantage of the miscue. Let's take a look at the pick. Yeah, again, just not set. And had Light not fallen down, probably wouldn't have been called because no advantage would have been created. But there you see the speed and the burn of number 14 in blue, Jordan Faison. Look at him just glide by Mason Whitney, who's a terrific defender.
Back to Faison. And a wide receiver for the football team. Went to the national championship game this year. Busenkill fires and scores. Unassisted for Busenkill, the unflappable junior out of Garnett Valley, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and this is what Faison now does. They got to respect his dodging ability from the get-go. Gets a step. Busenkill then just at that sweep.
Nice save for Taylor. Notre Dame regroups. Here comes Kavanaugh. Straight away, Faison scores. Three in a row for the Irish.
Terrific ball movement. Unselfish. And when you've had the dodging success that Kavanaugh, number 50 in blue, Faison, number 14 in white, what you got to slide. And they've got the Michigan defense spinning. There's the double. Great vision. And then Kavanaugh throws it back from where it started prior to the shot clock, but still with those possessions, it put tremendous amount of pressure on your defense and your goaltender.
Taylor's done all he can today, but Notre Dame really starting to break through. Oh, top shelf. Jalen Seymour, the senior, with his first goal today and the 6th of the year.
Senior out of Melville, New York. Just gets top side, and he is going to paste the upper 90. After a couple of tic-tac-toe kind of passing goals, Seymour just uses his size and his length to get above goal line extended. And look at the placement of this shot. That is backyard perfect. Maryland right now is probably the most complete team with what they've demonstrated, with what they have offensively, what they have defensively, the wins that they've been able to post. I mean, they've knocked off Syracuse. They were tested at Loyola. They had to come back from a 3-goal deficit in a tough environment. You know, Ridley is one of the toughest places to play for an opponent.
What a spin and a score there for Kavanaugh. His 4th today. He is just absurd.
Talked about the face-off, nice and clean, quick off the whistle. Hagstrom wins it, plays it back, and then the clear is successful, and then you get it on the offensive end and the front swing. A little bit of an adventure here for Michigan. This is just fundamentals and stick work. Yeah, but back to Maryland. I mean, you know, the wins over, you know, Loyola, Syracuse, Princeton. A big win, and then that big win over Notre Dame. Richmond, who is playing some terrific lacrosse.
Jeffrey scores. Michigan could not clear, and Jeffrey makes him pay.
Well, that's why he's in the lineup. Michigan struggling to clear. There you see the 20 seconds evaporating off of the shot clock. That's what the officials use. And then Jeffrey off the restart. I'm ready to go. Blow the whistle. Gets it back on the run and just drills the top shelf. Again, that opportunity, the broken stick, you're 6-on-5, you call the timeout. Okay, cool. Then you have a moving pick. So instead of being able to trim away some of that lead after the Billig goal, you're now playing defense, and Notre Dame made them pay. And ever since then, the Irish have just been clicking on all cylinders.
And everything flipped. 15 seconds. Down to 8 seconds. Angrick. Turning shot, and he sends it in. Snuck it by Taylor. That's 15 for Notre Dame, and the second goal for Angrick.
I mean, if you want to call it struggling the last couple of weeks for Notre Dame, losing to Maryland, losing to Ohio State, one player that was steady is number 10 in blue, Will Angrick.
Notre Dame goal.
Short time,
10,
just taking it to the cage.
The game, his 9th of the season.
And that's just a short side shot that solves Taylor. I think this one caught him off by surprise a little bit. Give them some momentum coming back next week, traveling to College Park to take on the University of Maryland.
Have to regroup after a tough performance in the third quarter specifically, and Richie Ardelli continues to impress in the cage for the Irish.
So I think defensively they still have some work to do in tightening some of the stuff up.
Faison somehow kept it alive, scooped it towards Kavanaugh. 10 on the shot clock. Angrick, Taylor, 2 goals today, 5 to shoot. And Buddington was there. May have been helped by the post, too.
Well, welcome to the game, Joseph Buddington.
We mentioned Maryland upcoming for the Wolverines. Duke is next for Notre Dame, but a couple of weeks to heal up, get right. I think they're going to feel a lot better going into that game after today. Add another. Wilma Harris. His second of the game makes it a 12-goal lead for the Irish.
I've been impressed with Harris today. He's got a good burst. He's an attackman, getting an opportunity to play in the midfield for this Notre Dame team, and he has been terrific today. They're winning their matchup so far away from the goal that slides aren't even in position to come just yet in an ACC matchup against the Duke Blue Devils, who survived Richmond in overtime earlier today.
Yeah, it was 12-12 in OT last time we checked. Duke escapes. Number 6 in the country coming into the week. And add one more for the Irish. Brock Behrman with the latest.
And there you see a substitution making a play on the attack for Notre Dame. I've been impressed all game long with this midfield unit, particularly Will Angrick. He's got good vision. He's disciplined, fundamentally sound. Draws 2 white jerseys, finds Bierman just filling that slot vacated by the side. There you see Michigan just going to the pole over the last 6 or 7 face-offs, just trying to create some advantage, and a nice job there by Mason Whitney. But then it's just sloppy and trying to get the ball into a settled offense.
Behrman from Angrick for Notre Dame, time of the goal 9-11.
Stick was dislodged from Marlowe there. Michigan trying to get it back with Jenkins.
Possession, a little bit of momentum after the Billy goal, and then everything has just kind of gone south since that point for the Wolverines. And this is disappointing because when you look at their body of work, yeah, they got dominated by North Carolina early in the season, but then they lost to Duke in overtime, wins over Canisius, Cleveland State. Could have won the game against Harvard. You know, today it just kind of got away from them in the middle of that third quarter.
Ran into a buzzsaw Notre Dame team that came in angry. That goal from Lucas Stannett, the transfer from Princeton. Christian Ronda, Cahal Roberts came from Princeton to Michigan for their graduate seasons last year, continuing that pipeline.
Bo Pedersen as well.
Yep.
First team All-American in the history of Michigan lacrosse. That's a nice shot by Stannett. We talked about him earlier in the game, trying to find some answers at the face-off dot and just being a little bit more disciplined. Like, those are the things I think that Kevin Connery may focus on this week in practice in preparation for Maryland.
And another goal for Stannett. Goes down low against Richie Ardelli, making 2 in a row.
This is what you want to see if you're Kevin Connery and his staff. Continue to fight, continue to play, and they're doing just that. Stannett with another goal. Big body. Graduate student out of Brighton, New York. Just catches it, turns and finishes.
And you never know with injuries that could potentially pop up throughout the season, or just who's playing well in practice. Could could contribute in ACC play, conference play. Same thing goes for Michigan down the stretch of the season.
Another failed clear for the Wolverines.
That's the third today. Notre Dame going right to goal and scoring again. The finish from Jeffrey Ricciardelli and the assist to Brady Picorni. Freshman to senior.
Yeah, Picorni, a highly touted freshman. Nice to see him be able to make a play. And Ricciardelli, an extra man specialist, getting it done off of the quick restart. Notre Dame whistle ready. Guys understand it's their opportunity. There we see another failed clear. Can't beat the 22nd. And again, Notre Dame, looks like Matt Jeffrey a few minutes ago. Whistle ready. Mishandled, but it was there. And that's what, we're kind of talking about. The execution, the fundamentals.
Hard shot, and it goes. Gavin Burlace sends it in. 19 goals for Notre Dame for a second straight year against Michigan.
Younger brother of Maryland defender Colin Burlace, as the Terps are getting ready to take on Virginia later this afternoon. Just a nice little give and go. Burlace sets his feet. Tall midfielder. Lets it rip, sends it far side. That was like a feel-good quarter. It never feels good, but that was like, okay, hey, we made it to the quarters and Notre Dame won the national championship. Last year was disappointing, losing to Virginia in overtime. That was a team that a lot of folks felt like could have been that championship weekend entrant with a shot at a national championship, and now they've just recalibrated and going after it this year.
That was a heck of a swim and a finish for Emmett Houlihan. Able to dodge well and score Michigan's 7th goal.
Just taking his man out to the wing. The freshman number 9 in blue, being Logan Gutzwiller, getting some minutes. And Houlihan just takes advantage of the matchup, and coming in, the water's fine.
And then they round into form late in Big Ten play and go on a run in the Big Ten tournament. We'll see if they can do it again.
They've done it as underdogs the last couple of years, and last year's championship came by beating Penn State, a team that went to the NCAA tournament. We'll see them next Sunday night against Ohio State. Matt Trainer and other key offensive personnel. Will they play for the Nittany Lions? Because they're going to need all hands on deck against that defense.
Big Ten tournament will be here at Michigan in the semifinals and the championship, with the top 2 teams getting byes into the semis. Right back to Jenkins. 1 minute to play. Another save for Zepf. 15 seconds left. Notre Dame. 19 goals, and 11 of them came in the second half. Largest win in series history for Notre Dame. Bouncing back in a big way with a dominant win in Ann Arbor.